now that you've heard me lay it all out there about how full of myself I am, but here's the thing about me. As always, I am not one to buy into societal BS. So my belief is super simple. If you've got it, you own it and you flaunt it. Welcome to the Inner Golden Hour podcast, where dreams take flight, mind, body, and soul get a serious holistic upgrade, and personal evolution transforms into a shared spiritual adventure. Consider this your dedicated sanctuary for exploration, self discovery, unfiltered truths, diverse perspectives, and some much needed heart to heart real talk. Hi, I'm your host Kusum. I'm a mindset and manifestation life and business coach. Think of me as that best friend you never knew you needed. The one unafraid to call out your BS, deliver a dose of tough love, and hit you with some truth bombs. This podcast is more than just a series of episodes. It's a transformative experience guiding you to dig into your truths, ditch those old limiting beliefs, and fully embrace the real authentic you. It's an invitation to align your mind, body, heart, and soul, to dream big, to explore what truly lights you up, and to manifest a reality that surpasses your wildest imagination. Envision this space as the magical golden hour when everything radiates with a breathtaking glow, revealing the depths of your inner world. Now, come along and immerse yourself in a perpetual flow of inspiration, insights, and massive transformation across all areas of your life. Let's explore the extraordinary, one enlightening episode at a time. Who the heck is Kusum and what's her story? Part 1. Hey! Welcome and hello, radiant beings. Thank you for being here. For those of you who are new to my world, hello again. I'm Kusum. I'm your host on this podcast. Now, I'm not one to shy away from owning my worth. So, I'm just going to get started by saying that I'm a womanifester, 100xer, and a cosmic cheerleader extraordinaire. Now, these titles were bestowed upon me by some truly incredible people that I look up to, and I wear these badges of honor with pride. But please don't let these fancy titles fool you, because my life hasn't always been a bed of roses. Much like many of you, I too have had my fair share of rock bottoms, unexpected twists and turns, and moments of doubt. Well, lots and lots of them if you're being honest. But through it all, you know what I've learned? I've learned that life is a beautiful mess. And it's in those messy moments that we get to discover our true character and essence. So, this Inner Golden Hour podcast is a culmination of my experiences and my insights. And this podcast has been a long time coming. But finally, I felt an irresistible pull from deep within, a burning desire to just do it, as if yesterday wasn't soon enough. And so, here we are. But before we dive into the heart of this wild ride on this podcast, I thought that it's only fair that I start by introducing myself to you all, by giving you a peek into the real me, the quirky me, the imperfectly perfect me, and the perfectly imperfect me. Now, try saying that 5 times faster. And based on where this episode is going to go, I decided to call it I didn't choose manifestation, manifestation chose me. Or should I rather say, life takes you places, but love brings you home. But if you really think about it, they're both one and the same. Hashtag if you know, you know. And with that, today we are going to dive into my story, my journey, and the cosmic forces that brought me to this moment. I promise to share my triumphs, my epic fails, and everything in between. So buckle up because this is going to be a roller coaster of a story. And let me first start by introducing my 7 or 8-year-old self to you. Don't worry, we're not going to go all the way back to when I was a 7-year-old, but this will definitely give you a glimpse into the core of my being. And these specific instances, I somehow vividly recall as if they were just yesterday. Even when I was as little as 7 or 8 years old, I remember that I would go to my parents and I would fearlessly, but with full of belief and wisdom that defied my age, I would ask my parents, why listen to others' opinions when they're not the ones living your life? I mean, I would tell them, this is true. I'm not making this up right now. You work hard and we use the money that you make to live our life the way we want. So they're not the ones working hard and giving their money so we can live our life. So why does it even matter what they think or what they say? For real, guys, for real, this is exactly what I would tell my parents. But back then, little did I know that this fierce independent spirit and this unwavering unconventional belief were actually laying a strong foundation. I mean, they were setting the stage for my journey to be this confident trailblazer, one who wouldn't give two hoots about others' unwarranted opinions. And I have to admit that this journey has been more about continuous unlearning and then learning so I could go back and reunite with that very core of my 7-year-old being. Yeah, what do you think of that 7-year-old? Huh? On that note, the real question I have right now is this is the same question, the number one thing in my head every time I start sharing my story. Where do I begin? Now, while I still don't have the answer to that question, today we are going to begin with the now. That's the easiest, going with the present. And while we are at it, I'm going to claim my bragging rights. Well, with your permission, of course, as I take a few moments to share my bio. Well, actually, it's more like reading my bio. I know. How full of herself is this woman? Is that what you're thinking? Well, what can you do? That's me. But trust me, I'm not just tooting my. What? I'm not just tooting my own horn. Oh my god, that's harder than I thought to pronounce. Anywho. Well, actually, let's give that another try. But trust me, I'm not just tooting my own horn. There's always a method to my madness. Woohoo! Fourth time's the charm. All right, okay. So now let's cue the spotlight and let the reading begin. And in case you already lost the plot, we are now reading from my bio. Let the reading begin. As a fierce woman fueled by passion and purpose, I'm not just a coach, I'm a catalyst for change and a champion of growth. My mission is to empower individuals to reclaim their power and embark on a holistic transformation journey. I help my clients break free from limiting beliefs, overwhelm, and self doubt, enabling them to take full ownership of their lives with ferocity, confidence, and courage so that they can manifest their wildest dreams, create a greater impact, achieve financial success, and live a happy, content, and fulfilling life all on their own terms. And my ultimate goal? It's to help people unleash their inner badassery and live a purpose driven life that will have a massive impact on the world. And personally, I'm not one to shy away from dreaming big, thinking deeply, or calling myself out on my own BS. Constantly pushing myself to new heights, I'm a self development junkie who takes inspired action like a fearless trailblazer. With an unbreakable spirit and infinite potential, I know there is no limit to how far I can go. Unleashing my unbridled passion for growth is what led me to embark on this journey of becoming a life coach. And as someone who's personally encountered numerous challenges and overcome them, I truly understand what it takes to rise above adversity with tenacity, bravery, and perseverance, which is why I'm deeply committed to creating a judgment free and supportive space where my clients can be real and raw and bring their most authentic selves and express their thoughts, fears, aspirations, and goals. It's important to me that my clients feel seen, heard, loved, supported, and uplifted as they navigate their own personal growth journey. And my holistic coaching approach emboldens clients to transmute their limiting beliefs into pure potentiality. I use a powerful fusion of mindset techniques, psychology, spiritual practices, energy work, intuitive guidance, and manifestation practices tailored to their unique needs and challenges. By guiding them through the ancient art of alchemy, rooted in spirituality and supported by modern science, I catalyze profound shifts in their mindset and consciousness, enabling them to manifest their deepest desires and create a life beyond their wildest imagination, filled with abundance, joy, and fulfillment. According to my clients, I am their ultimate superhero sidekick with a unique blend of a fierce advocate, accountability buddy, and honest critique all wrapped into one. They value my unwavering belief in their untapped potential and my fearlessness in calling out their BS and pushing them past their limitations. My unrelenting support and constructive criticism help them gain self confidence, love themselves, trust their intuition, and achieve remarkable success. They say that my unmatched ability to fuse tough love, compassion, no nonsense feedback, empathy, and deep understanding makes me a coach like no other. Together, we are creating a ripple effect of change that is building a legacy of positive transformation in the world. And beyond coaching, my background is diverse. I hold an engineering degree and a master's, and I've navigated the tech world of Wall Street. However, the universe had other plans for me and led me to a different adventure as a lifestyle and travel blogger and a digital content creator, collaborating with various local and global brands. Amidst these diverse experiences, I discovered my true calling as a life coach. I believe that life takes you to unexpected places, but love is what brings you home. And coaching for me is that love and home. It's the ultimate culmination of my diverse experiences, my passion for personal growth, and my desire to empower others to lead exceptional lives. In addition to my coaching journey, I wear the proud hat of a mom to two adorable little ones, aka my biggest teachers. For real, this role is incredibly meaningful to me because I wholeheartedly believe that to inspire our kids to be extraordinary, we must first embody that extraordinariness ourselves. My husband and I call the vibrant Bay Area our home, and together we share a beautiful dream of nurturing and raising global citizens. And our family isn't just about wishful thinking. We are all about taking action. We see the world as our playground and we are always on the lookout for thrilling adventures. Traveling is our passion and we have made it a part of our lives. We believe that every journey is a lesson, an opportunity for growth, and a way to broaden our horizons. Through our adventures, we are not only making cherished memories but also imparting essential life lessons to our little ones. We are teaching them the importance of having big dreams, pondering life's deep questions, and being accountable for their choices. We are on a mission to nurture their curiosity, empathy, and a sense of responsibility not just toward our local community but toward the whole world. As a coach, my mission isn't confined to the professional space alone. It's deeply connected to my personal life and values that I want to instill in my children. Together, as a family, we are navigating a path of conscious living, sparking positive change, and creating a legacy that will echo through generations. All right, now that you've heard me lay it all out there about how full of myself I am, I mean, really, isn't that how many people might be thinking right now? Because that's what society tells us. It tells us not to brag about our accomplishments, not to talk about our highlights, and so on and so forth. But here's the thing about me. As always, I am not one to buy into societal BS. So my belief is super simple. If you've got it, you own it and you flaunt it. Flaunt your victories, flaunt your failures, flaunt your journey, and flaunt all the shades that make you uniquely you. And stay humble and grounded as you do just that. So, sure, judges are gonna judge and haters are gonna hate. But you just keep doing you, boo. And if you don't make a big deal of your own accomplishments and journey, why should anyone else? Have you ever thought about that? So, let your story shine and let them watch in awe and feel inspired, or let them scroll past with a tinge of jealousy. Either way, your show and my show goes on. Now, as I read that, if the takeaway from that is how glorious my life is with my wonderful husband, beautiful kids, while doing the work that lights me up, as I make an impact larger than life and trotting across the globe, living a full life, let me tell you, my life wasn't always this way. And if you told me though, several years ago that this is what my life would look like, I would have never believed you. Not in a million years, because my life was completely the opposite of what it looks like today. I was a mess. I was miserable. I was, oh my gosh. I can't even put into words some of the things that I would be going through and my mindset. And somehow I managed to pull myself out of all of that. So, yes, if you had told me long ago that this is what my life would have looked like, I would have likely called you crazy and insane, and I would have sprinted in the opposite direction. Because you see, well, actually, let's rewind to maybe about 15 years ago when I first told my dad and my parents that I wanted to come to the US to pursue my master's. And my dad's first reaction was that he thought I was joking or he thought I was crazy. No way on God's green earth. Because that idea to us seemed so far fetched. To my family, I mean, we couldn't even fathom affording, let alone that reality, but such an expensive dream, right? Dream within your limits. Isn't that what we've all been taught as we were growing up? But again, what can I say? I don't know how to dream within my limitations, and thank the universe for that. Because against all odds, because I dare to dream beyond our limitations, everything that I shared with you all up until now has happened because of that belief, because of me having the ability to dare to dream big. But what all of that meant 15 years ago was my mom and my little brother rallying behind me. They put their foot down to make my dream come true. They sat there convincing my dad that this was going to happen and we were going to make sure that I was going to come to the US to do my master's because that was my dream. So, even if that meant plenty of sacrifices for my family and my dad moving mountains just to make it all happen, and even if that meant our family was likely going to lose everything they had worked so hard for to secure a massive education loan, and then me flying to the US to finally pursue my master's 15 years ago. And I say risking losing everything because I had let my parents down before and now they had to bet on me again. I mean, forget them betting on me. Heck, I had to bet on myself again despite my past failures, despite my self doubts, and despite me witnessing and experiencing firsthand those moments when I hit rock bottom. And I was like, what have I done with my life, right? So I have been through those phases. And for a 20 something year old back then, there is no other problem in the world as big as her own, especially when you know nothing beyond your own limited experiences and your own narrow worldview, right? I was not exposed to the world outside my limited circumstances and experiences and limited set of people around me. So the first flight I ever boarded was 15 years ago when I first came to this country, arriving in this unknown land which I knew nothing about and where I knew no one. And in fact, I was the first one in my entire family to ever leave India and move abroad to study. And boarding that plane that day for the very first time meant so much more than just the act of me stepping on that flight. It was me stepping into the uncharted territory, being willing and open to come into a world that I'd have to navigate with determination and resilience because I was, of course, thrown curveballs along the way. But now, 15 years later, the story is completely different. I hop on a dozen different flights every year, chasing my dreams without a second thought. And I'm going to share this for context because it's really important, the stark difference. By the time my son turned 3, we had taken him to 13 countries. Yeah, by the time he was 3. And then COVID happened, of course. But while I didn't board my first flight up until the age of 20 plus, here my son is gallivanting across the globe And he still, I don't think he ever understands, and he will ever understand what it feels like to get on that first flight when you are as old as I was back then. And when I look back and as I talk about my experiences and relive those moments, all I can think of is, wow, the journey that this has been. Because when I first moved here, I came with a borrowed $1,000 and a massive student loan. And I was also so determined and adamant about not taking more money from my parents. I mean, first of all, they didn't have money, and even if they did borrow, beg, borrow, and send money to me, I would feel horrible because what would last them an entire year would likely be my expenses for a month. Plus, they'd already done enough for me, right? I wanted to now earn my own living. And while this might be a given for many, coming from India, it was as foreign a concept as the land itself for me. And this was even more hard when I would see my university friends doing what they chose to with their time and having fun. While I, on the other hand, was closely monitoring every shift at my on campus job that I could get my hands on, not caring about fun or about having a good time. I was so solely focused on making enough money so that I could survive. I lived on the cheapest food possible, buying a donut or like a $2 wrap, and I would even walk miles so I didn't have to spend $2 on a train ticket. Whether it was working back to back shifts in the most brutal cold weather of Boston, or sleeping on the floors of my university classrooms in between shifts, and even making do with a hand me down comforter as both my bed and blanket in my first year in the US. I did it all. And just imagine this being your first exposure to cold, let alone Boston's brutal cold weather. So, yeah, I was freezing my ass off and shivering while making midnight rounds from dorm to dorm. And as I would make these rounds, or as I would get home, which I hated by the way, to get some sleep, or as I was sitting in these dorms during my midnight shifts, I'd be crying many a times. I'd be like, why am I doing this to myself? Why did I have to leave everything behind? Why did I have to come to this country and put myself through this? And there was this one night I distinctly remember, in the middle of the night, I was talking to my mom on the computer, and I just could not contain my tears. I just started sobbing. And then, on the other hand, she's sobbing. And that's the day that I decided that no matter how hard it is, I was never going to let them know how hard this was all for me. And I was never going to cry in front of my parents because that's going to make them worry more for my sake. But it was some of the hardest years of my life where I've had to just do all of this all by my own and all alone here, while trying to survive and also while making an effort to study, I guess, to get my master's. So, yes, I did it all. So, this glamorous life that you might see on social media or you just heard me talk about or read through my bio didn't just happen overnight. I have been through a heck of a lot to make sure that I got to this place where I, today, with full belief and full faith, can say that I know all too well what determination, dreams, mindset, and perseverance can do for you, how far you can go with it, and how far each of those can take you. And then, fast forward to a couple of years later, that's when I found my soulmate husband, my biggest unconscious manifestation at that. And of course, he happened after a few failed relationships, which, by the way, I learned a lot from, and also started working in corporate America in New York City on Wall Street. A dream of many, right? But little did I know that it wasn't really my dream, even though even though I was the one that was hell bent on making it all happen. I learned that when you take on society's standards and its definition of success, You actually get lost. You get lost and forget about your own dreams, let alone exploring and understanding what that dream even is. I mean, how many times have you actually asked yourself if becoming an engineering or a lawyer or a doctor or an architect, etc., is your dream? Or you took on that dream because you assumed that that was the path to success? And long story short, a few years later, I even quit corporate America. And let me tell you, quitting corporate America was never a part of the plan. Certainly not my plan. But here's the thing about the universe. When the universe really gets sick and tired of your BS, which it did, it had enough of my BS, it gave me a kick in the butt. It pushed me to make that unexpected turn when things didn't go as originally planned. Or should I rather say, as originally promised. And now, when I look at that, it appears that was the first step towards me figuring out my life. In fact, it was the bold leap in the right direction towards discovering what my sole purpose was and towards truly coming face to face with my mission here on earth and claiming that as my own. And again, fast forward to a few years later, my husband and I, we moved to Seattle, Washington. I became a lifestyle blogger and digital content creator, and for the lack of a better word, an influencer. And we were also growing as a family at the same time. While all of that was going great, I still didn't feel like this was all. You know, that feeling of, is this it? Something doesn't feel right, or you feel like there's something missing. And that was me. This was back in 2019. So, fast forward again, I got certified as a life coach. And my life, let me tell you, has completely changed ever since. And when I was going through my certification program to become a life coach, that's when it all dawned on me that this is what life was preparing me for all along. All that I was doing while I was miserably failing at life and trying to build myself back up was me coaching myself. And now, when I look back, this has become my life's work. And since I got certified as a life coach, there has been no looking back. This is my calling, this is my dharma, and this is my soul's purpose. Which is exactly why I say that life takes you places and love brings you home. And coaching people and helping them transform their lives on a mind, body, and soul level is that love for me. I mean, can you imagine all the various places I've had to go to before I got here? But the thing about all of that is, I gave myself permission. I gave myself permission to fail. I gave myself permission to walk away from things that didn't feel like the right fit for me at that point of time. Although sometimes it wasn't solely by choice, but there was that deep desire. When you have that deep desire, universe doesn't give you a choice. So yeah, so there's that too. And that's not all. As I started coaching, my own personal growth journey has continued too. Only this time through more conscious introspection, reflection, deep inner work. And also with the help of other people who have walked this path. That is, my own coaches and mentors. Because once you see the profound impacts of all of this, there's no going back. And as I was doing this work, is when it all dawned on me that, wait a second, I am the one who has manifested it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that profound realization is what labeled me a manifestation queen, opening my eyes to conscious manifestation, and I've been quantum leaping ever since. And I have to mention that our baby girl, who is now 23 months old at the time of this recording, is my biggest, most significant conscious manifestation. So, until my eyes opened up to this world of conscious manifestation, I barely had a clue what manifestation even was. Except for the fact that maybe the most superficial meaning of the word manifest, I guess, I knew about that. And what I've also noticed is this is a pattern that stands out for me in my own life is that I kind of stumbled upon this whole manifestation thing all on my own, right? Like I didn't read any manifestation books or I hadn't heard from any manifestation experts who teach manifestation, who talk manifestation, etc. So the pattern that I've noticed is it's like, unless I am totally ready and unless I've already figured things out all by myself, the universe doesn't actually show me that path until I have done that work. I have to be the one to go through those ups and downs and figure things out, and only then will the universe bring the resources, bring the people, bring the circumstances, bring the situations that all align with that path. But until then, until I have done that work, the universe doesn't really show me what's ahead and what that next step looks like for me. And I think that's what makes my journey feel even more powerful and even more deep and profound for me personally, because then I appreciate every bit of it even more, like 10,000 times more, rather than if I would have actually been presented that resource or that person had come into my life from the get go. And for that, I'm even more appreciative of the universe and this path that the universe has chosen for me and this path that I've chosen for myself, because that makes this even more beautiful and adds so much more depth to this journey of mine. Yeah, so now I teach and coach through the lens of manifestation and its principles. Because when you understand the power of being able to co create and manifest the life you want, why would you want to do anything else different? And for me, now it's so much more rewarding to be able to teach the very principles and tools and techniques to people to show that life can be so much more effortless and it can be a dance of ease and flow that can feel divine and sacred. Which is why I say I didn't choose manifestation, manifestation chose me. And I truly believe that it's the universe choosing me to do this work, to raise my own consciousness as I help others do the same. And I truly believe that together we elevate the collective consciousness as the new earth evolves. Now, while this might feel like we are going back and forth about my whole life story, I do want to take some time and read a post that I wrote 3 years ago. The title says, Bet on Yourself, Dream Big, 12-Year Review. 12 years ago today, August 2008, was the first time I got on an airplane. Heck, it was the first time I'd ever even been to an airport. In fact, I had barely even traveled outside Bangalore, India, besides making a few trips to temples with parents each year. My family didn't know the concept of going on holiday. But there I was on my first flight with equal amounts of excitement and nervousness, scared even, leaving behind everyone I loved and everything that was known and comfortable to come to a land where I knew no one and to a land that I knew nothing about. Yet, here I was with nothing but a vague big dream, borrowed $1,000, a huge student loan, and tons of self imposed pressure. I was the first one in my entire family to leave the country and come to America to study. My parents put everything they'd worked so hard for their whole entire life on the line for me and my dreams, even though I had let them down before. The next 2 years, I put myself through hell and back, in brackets, a story for another day, but I knew why I was doing it all, in brackets, though I didn't really know what the heck it was, question mark. Today, 12 years later, August 2020, here I am. There's a whole bunch of bullets underneath, a woman of passion with a purpose, a dreamer, thinker, doer, and goal digger, a self development and personal growth junkie, a teacher and a student, both at the same time, a mom, wife, daughter, sister, friend, and confidant, an undergraduate in engineering, in brackets, Bangalore, India, a graduate in telecommunications management, in brackets, Boston, USA, a business analyst and project manager, in brackets, New York City, USA, farmer, a blogger, digital content creator, global brand promoter, in brackets, Seattle, USA, current, a life coach certified by the one and only J. Shetty Certification School, in brackets, global, recent. Now, my intention isn't to cite my resume or brag about my accomplishments, but simply to showcase that life takes you places, but love brings you home, both literally and figuratively. What's not changed from then to now are those vague big dreams, which only seem to have gotten bigger and bigger. What's changed is having the right support, resources, and people in my corner, my tribe. I live an inspired life and I try my best to inspire and uplift others along the way. If I'm stuck, I know that I can and will somehow figure it all out. If I can do it, anyone can. I mean, so can you. Dream big. Your dreams are worth pursuing, no matter how vague they seem at the moment. Bet on yourself. You're worth it. And I've used a quote in the post because I've always been a quotes girl through and through. Since my early childhood years, long before social media or even long before the internet existed in my corner of the world. The quote I've used in this post is, I stopped waiting for the light at the end of the tunnel and lit that bitch up myself. Wow, love it. Okay, so now as I glance back at the snippet from 3 years ago, it's so striking to me how my thoughts and perspectives have even evolved in just these 3 short years. And it's so fascinating for me to sit here and observe the depth that's continued to unfold within me over these 3 years. And as I always say, we are forever a work in progress. And my journey in just these 3 years have most certainly added so much meaning and so many layers to my being. And the evolution, oh my god, it's so real. And it makes me go, wow, what a journey and what a wild, wild ride this has been. And for now, I'm going to promise you all that in the upcoming episodes, I will elaborate on all the long story short and fast forward from this episode. But for now, what I really want to drive home is the point that if I didn't challenge the status quo, if I didn't live life on my own terms, if I didn't create my own opportunities, if I didn't dream big against all odds, if I didn't take chances, if I didn't try again every time I failed, if I didn't bet on myself, if I didn't invest in myself, and if I didn't believe that I am worthy and my dreams are worthy and I deserve to dream however big I want and create whatever life I wanted, and if I didn't go after what I truly desired without stopping, without giving into excuses, without wallowing in my own BS, I wouldn't be living such a wonderful, fulfilling, glorious queen size life. So, why am I bearing my soul to you? Because I believe that our journeys, our unique experiences need to be told and they deserve to be heard. Because when we share our stories, we open ourselves up to connection. And by sharing our experiences, we have the power to inspire others to chase their dreams as well. With that, I hope that my story has ignited a spark within you today. And I also want to share this quote with you all. As I said, I'm a quotes girl through and through. We are not prisoners of our circumstances. We are the architects of our destiny. And I want you all to walk away from this episode knowing that your life is your own masterpiece to design. And your current circumstances, while very much valid, they do not dictate your future. You, and only you, are the one that holds the reins to your destiny. You have the power to shape your reality in co creation with the universe, to transform your version of the vague dreams into a vivid reality. And just as I've embraced my role as a manifestation queen, you too can claim your own manifestation royalty. Whether you want to call yourself a manifestation queen, king, or something else entirely different. Where the essence lies is in you aligning yourself with your highest self and aspirations. And before you tune out, I invite you to take a moment. Please close your eyes and remember the first step is always giving yourself permission to dream. And while at it, dream big and dream boldly. If there were no limits, no constraints, who would you actually be? What would you actually want to do? And what would you want to achieve? Allow those dreams to guide you towards a life of limitless possibilities. Perhaps even jot down those dreams on a piece of paper. And then take that next step. no matter how small it may seem to you right now. It's that initial action that sets the wheels for transformation in motion. You can always start now with what you have, where you are, and how you currently are. And before we end the episode today, please take a moment and make a note of what were some of the big takeaways for you from this episode. Because we all listen to a lot of things, we all consume a lot of content, but when we walk away without truly understanding what that big takeaway was, this is just going to be another episode where you just got more information. And that's not going to do anything for your transformations. So whip out your notebooks and go make a note of some of the biggest takeaways for you from this episode, and then go take some aligned action based off of those insights and takeaways. And if you so feel called to, please send those takeaways and insights my way so I can celebrate alongside you. And on that note, get ready to dive headfirst into the art of co-creating your dream life in the upcoming episodes, where we will uncover the practical tips and tricks you need to turn your wildest dreams into a living, breathing reality. Thank you for joining me on another episode of this podcast. I appreciate your time, your presence, your commitment, and your willingness to embark on this journey of self-discovery, transformation, and manifestation. If anything you heard today resonated with you, sparked new insights, or brought about aha moments, I'd love to hear all about them. So please share your thoughts by tagging me on social media at Passion Purpose Passport, and follow me there for more inspiring content and connection. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and show your support by liking, reviewing, and sharing this podcast. The more good we share with the world, the more the universe unfolds its magic for us. It's not just good karma, it's the universal law, aka Manifestation 101. By the way, you will receive my free manifestation meditation as a token of gratitude for sharing your reviews on iTunes. Take a screenshot before submitting and send it to my team at manifest@passionpurposepassport.com. On that note, align your mind, body, heart, and soul with your deepest desires for limitless possibilities. Remember, every step you take, every action you choose, ripples through the universe, shaping the reality you wish to experience. Until next time, keep basking in the brilliance of your inner golden hour and keep manifesting miracles.